Hello, and as we're about to go into the new year, I thought it would be a timely thing for me to talk to you about on my YouTube channel, all about why these stupid fad diets that get shoved down our throats at this time of year don't work. And before you just think, yeah, I know, but I want to lose weight because I've just overdone it at Christmas, what is it that we can do that does actually work, that is going to make an absolute revolutionary change to the way you look and the way that you feel? I think the first thing to say before I go into the amazing techniques that I'm going to teach you in this session is that one of the key things that I've noticed across my life is that at this time of year, and indeed throughout the year, it's always about these kind of faddy things, the kind of the latest and the newest and this new way of doing things, which normally results in a lot of hope and aspirations and possibly willpower that starts off your journey as you kind of go into the new. You go, right, that's it, I'm so full of self-loathing that I am going to get up at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. or 6 a.m. or whatever a.m. it is, and I'm going to run, or I'm going to the gym, or I'm taking up this new program and I am going to do it, and this is the year I'm going to do it. And then what tends to happen is that it tends to sort of wane off. You only need to catch a cold or feel ill, or one of your kids gets sick, or you have to long working day, or any of the above, which then results in the fact that all of these great intentions just fall by the wayside. Life is too hard, and then we think, oh, do you know what, sod it, and then we reach for whatever it is that help us, whether that's wine or food or company or just sabotage or not going to the gym or whatever it is. Now, the thing is that there's a few things to say about all of that that will unpick all of these myths and actually give you some tangible things that you can do that will actually, believe it or not, make a sustainable and severe change to the way that you look and the way that you feel. And I'm going to talk to you about that today. So the first thing to say that when you're resolving in the new year to resolve to do something new, whether it is to create a good habit or to get fit or to lose weight or to feel better, or whatever these things are, is that the first thing to say to you is that willpower is a finite energy which is stored in your kidneys. Now, the first thing to say about that is that what you normally find with willpower is that it tends to be quite good at the beginning and you go, right, that's it, I'm going to do it. And then it sort of wanes off, and then you'll find yourself at some moment in time, either a week or a day or a month or whatever it is, slightly further down the line, where the willpower just simply isn't there and you lose the will to do whatever it is. Now, there's a key thing to notice about that, which is that when we're starting a new habit or something that's beneficial to us, we need to go to what I call the pleasure factor. If you have the pleasure principle in place, that is a limitless and unbounded quantity of energy flow that can come into the body, and therefore means that we can work off the pleasure principle rather than the kind of the drive of the willpower. Because the thing about the kidneys, which are the source of the willpower, is that they're also responsible for the batteries and the power of your body. So when you're back at work and you're running around having to do everything that we have to do in a typical day, these resolves that we tend to make in holiday time just simply go by the wayside because our kidneys are too busy dealing with the here and the now of the chronic stress, the override, the burning the candles at both ends, the overwhelm and the overburden that most of us have got in our everyday lives, meaning that they have no resources left to kind of maintain this kind of willpower resolution that starts at the beginning of the process. And it's largely because the process that we're selecting for ourselves is normally quite brutal and normally not very pleasurable. So the minute everything else overwhelms, that pleasure factor isn't there, and then you think, oh, I can't cope with that as well. Do you know what? I don't care. I'm just not going to do it. Yes, I'd love to look better. Yes, I'd love to feel better. But right now I am dealing with the onslaught of the overwhelm of my day-to-day life, and therefore I'm just not going to have to be able to do that. I can't get up at 6 or 4 or 5 this morning. It's too much. Now, on the other hand, if you go from pleasure, then suddenly the whole thing becomes rather lovely, because then it's not something that you have to do, it's something that you get to do. It's something that you want to do. And that makes a massive difference to the results, because if you want to do it, then it becomes a kind of a pleasurable, positive thing that you're doing, rather than yet another thing of suffrage that you have to draw into your everyday life. So the first thing is we need to enjoy what we're doing, because if we like it, then we're going to do it. Okay, now the second thing is that we need to find time to do it. And I think one of the key things that I discovered from learning all this for myself in my own busy life, and also from helping so many people in clinic with this advice, is that the next step of the journey is to fit this into your everyday routine. Because often I find as busy people, largely women between 40 and 60, which is largely the group of this community, is that we are already completely and utterly overwhelmed and overloaded with everything that we have to do. So to add in an extra hour or even half hour of exercise in order to burn calories and drive ourselves through, actually most days is actually not even possible. And that we have to really, really be ruthless with our time management in order to fit it in. So once again, we need something that we really enjoy so that it takes over from collapsing in front of Netflix, or is actually a better replacement than half a bottle of red wine or half a box of chocolates, so that we're enjoying it actually more so than those other go-to processes, and that it fits into our daily life. Now, this is why I would like to talk to you about some of the really simple techniques that we've got here on the Hey You method that make a massive difference to how you look and how you feel. So the first thing that we need to understand is, if you want to make a difference to how you look on the outside and how you're feeling on the inside, is that we've got to hook into the fundamental root axis of good health in the body. And it is a fundamental that most of us don't even realise is there. And this is circulation. Our circulation has to move freely around our body in order for us to be healthy and to not carry excess weight and to feel good. Now, the problem with that is, although it sounds absolutely blindingly obvious to all of us, it's like, well, obviously our circulation has to circulate, like, duh, but modern lifestyle stops it happening. The first thing is we're very sedentary. We're not moving around as human beings were designed to do, which was to amble around and be outside in all weathers, and we are chronically stressed. And the stress response disrupts circulation around the body. The stress response moves the circulation from moving freely around the body in two key ways. It takes it out of the digestive system and it takes it out of the skin. And this is why two of the main culprits of the aging process that we don't really like is IBS, bloating, and that sort of middle-age spread that none of us seem to be able to do anything about, and also the papering of the skin, the lack of circulation, the lack of that lovely thick elastic skin that we get when we're young that boings back into where it used to be when we express ourselves, into this kind of lackluster paper thin skin. And the culprit sitting underneath all of this is the circulation system. So the key thing is that when we're making good resolutions for the new year or any time of year, that when we're thinking about our diet, that we look to foods that we enjoy and that we're eating seasonally. Okay, now there is a whole fact sheet over on Katie Brindle dedicated to diets and reprogramming and a really healthy way to follow a good New Year's diet that you will enjoy and that will keep you looking good. Okay, but the other key thing that we've got to do whilst we're addressing making sure that we're making healthy food choices is to ensure that this circulation is moving freely around the body. So there's three key things that I need to show you here on this YouTube to show you how to do that. The first is to use the tapper, which is this brilliant piece of kit here, made of very lightweight but yet very strong and sustainable bamboo. Now, the idea of the tapper is that when we tap all over the body, we are massively invigorating circulation. And because of the shape of the tool, it's there really easy for you to reach all over the body in all those hard to reach areas like that middle back or the lower feet. And you can do the whole thing in literally 1 minute. So let me just move this chair to one side and I am going to show you how it is done. So we just take the tapper, and just take this off, da-da-da. Okay, take the tapper, tap around the digestive system in a clockwise direction, and then we go down the outside and up the inside of the legs like this, including the feet. Make sure you include the groin, over the chest, down the inside of the arms, always lingering on the soft joints, over the back, in that hard to reach area. And you can even tap over the head, because that is going to massively stimulate the blood circulation. After 1 minute of tapping, you are going to feel this amazing invigorated sensation, this relaxed yet energized sensation, because you're moving the circulation around. And when you're doing that, you're invigorating the lymphatic and the circulatory systems of the blood, which in turn enables the body to detoxify itself and to release all those held on toxins that end up getting stored often in the fat cells, which we tend to be fighting against when we're trying to kind of diet and punish ourselves with rigorous exercise. Now, if you're doing rigorous exercise and you've taken up running or whatever it is, always make sure that you tap yourself with the tapper before and afterwards, Because one of the key things that we need to understand, she says, let me just come forwards a bit. One of the key things that you need to understand when doing those kind of vigorous types of exercise is that actually stresses the body even more. So an already stressed body then gets even more stressed, because if you're not relaxing properly from vigorous exercise, you're actually doing more harm than good. So it is really important that you counterbalance that intensity with something that calms the body down and puts you back into a relaxed state. And tapping can do just that. Now, there's a couple of other things that I can show you. One of them is body combing. Now, body combing is a fantastic technique, and it's really good for dealing with stubborn areas of fat, such as the middle or the backs of our arms, or our bum or our lower tummies, or our thighs around here. So what we do with the comb is, now here, we either do this in the shower with water, or we use the Hey You body oil. Just massage the oil to warm it up, put it around that middle area of the tummy, and then grab your combs. I like to use 2 around my middle, and then I'm literally going around the middle like this. Let me just stand up so you can see it. So I'm just going around the middle from the back to the front, clearing this all-important deep channel of the body called the daimai, and then to add to that, just going down the sides like this. Now you can literally do 6 sweeps, and you can do this in the shower. You can see that lovely. And then just down the middle there, that all-important red flush. This is still on me. There's still an area here of congestion and slight inflammation, which is what's causing that area of fat just there, which I'm just working on with the comb. It's just slowly but surely defining its way through. And then you can obviously use the comb on other areas, such as the back of the arms, and you can go down the arm like this in a straight line. And then the other technique is to go round and round and round and round like this. Now, the key thing to successfully changing things about yourself that you want to change in 2022, because there's more to it than just making a resolution on December the 31st and assuming that's going to be it. The key thing is to integrate what you're doing. That what you do is you do these simple 1-minute practices that I'm showing you that just come in and invigorate the circulation and invigorate the chi and the lymphatics, and start to dislodge these held toxins that are held in the fat cells, which then linger, which we can't release because we don't know what to do. So we integrate that, but we integrate it into a deeper system, okay? And that is Qigong. And that is why we have a sister brand called Hey You Fit. Because if you integrate these 1-minute practices with a deeper practice that literally changes the body structure from the insides out, because that's what Qigong does, you are going to see a massive transformation that's going to happen over the course of the year. Having been doing Qigong now since the first lockdown, religiously 6 times a week because I'm teaching it, I cannot believe the fundamental shift that's happened in my body and hundreds of other people that have joined me along the way. Because what you're doing is, rather than sculpting the body and emphasizing burning calories or defining it from the outside in, what we're doing with Qigong is we're moving from the inside out. That's what makes this substantial difference, which is why everyone's heralding it as the exercise trend for 2022. So do join me over on Hey You Fit, because there I can take this journey much, much deeper. We're going from 1 minute to self-care, transitioning across to 5 minutes to fit. And with these simple little techniques that I'm teaching you, you will have a 2022 that is finally going to deliver you the body of your dreams from the inside and the out. So Happy New Year from us here at Hey You and Hey You Fit.